right, Coach, congratulations on another win, 53-35 tonight. You cap off another undefeated regular season and do it in a rivalry game, Coach. How's it feel?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I've got a lot of respect for Hewitt and what Coach Floyd and them guys are doing over there. He has built that program. They are so solid, okay? And what they did tonight will translate next week against James Clemens. I really think they got a really good shot to beat them.
Absolutely. Coach, Ty again with a huge night, got to the end zone.
Yeah.
Seemed like on just about every drive, Coach. Just what are you seeing from him right now?
I mean, look, Stuart Floyd and all those guys on offense, they have a great game plan every week. And then the kids go out and execute it. You know, I didn't like the 2 fumbles. All right, that's something we don't do. And if we do that in this kind of atmosphere, you know, we got to learn from that. All right, this is playoff atmosphere. Last week, playoff atmosphere. That's exactly what we needed going into the playoffs. So I am super proud of our offense. But think about it. Defense, we're reeling in the first half. We go up, we make some adjustments, we just talk a little bit, give up 7. That's an outstanding job by Sean Tosman and his guys.
Right. Coach obviously gave up a little bit in the running game tonight defensively.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. Just tell us about the challenge of stopping Jerry and Street for them in that offensive game.
Well, you know, I looked at the tape. Jerry's a great player. I thought number 2 did an outstanding job. Bottom line is we didn't read our keys and do our job. Right. So if you don't do your job against a great player, they're going to take it to the house. Right. So hopefully we'll learn from that. This is good tape for us to watch.
Coach, the senior standing behind you, A.J. Walker, he's really become more and more part of this offense.
Let me tell you something, all right? This is a kid right here. The colleges are going to get on this board right here now. This is a great football player. He can do everything we ask him offensively, run, catch, block. All right, he's showing his abilities now. And you watch, this kid's going to do big things one day. He is a solid human being and solid and great football player.
Absolutely. AJ, they've really started leaning on you more these last couple weeks, man. Just how do you feel like you've performed these last 2 weeks?
Pretty good. I can still work hard, though. I still got much more to improve on.
Right. You're getting a lot more opportunities, a lot more carries. Is it kind of a mentality you guys are looking to set of a physical running game that you guys possess?
Yes, sir. Pretty much.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, AJ.
Right,
I appreciate it. All right, Coach. Finish up the regular season here tonight here at Clay Chalkville. Come in here with a sophomore quarterback, Coach. Just how'd you feel about Davis Bergen tonight?
I thought Davis did some really good things. You know, I think, you know, obviously he had a week of practice this week, so where he was really the guy, and you know, it was a lot easier for him to come out here tonight. And but thought he played really well. Thought he did some really nice things. You know, threw a couple touchdowns, I think, and you know, he got better. We just didn't make enough plays to win the game.
Moving forward, I mean, you look at the 2 opponents he's played against so far. He's played against Hoover. He's played against Clay Chalkville. How does that help him now moving into the postseason play now?
Hopefully it'll help us. We've obviously played 2 really good teams. We've played teams all year, you know, but obviously the last couple of weeks been pretty good teams. And so, you know, he played well tonight. We just got to go back and try to get better for next week.
All right, Coach, you really had the running game going tonight. It's very effective for you. You had some different packages. Obviously, you had Jerry and Street going. Just how do you feel like the way you're able to play physically?
Yeah, I mean, you know, our region that we're in is physical every week, and you know, and I thought we thought we could come out here and be more physical, and I think we were a lot of the night. We were able to run the football really well, and you know, we did some good things. We just didn't quite get it done, you know. But I can't ask for any more from our kids, man. I'm so stinking proud of, and you know, we've had so many guys go down with injuries. You know, had another guy go down tonight, and so you know, our guys could have shut it down. We came out here, had a chance to win. You know, I'm disappointed we didn't win because I think we could have.
Right. Coach, just defending this offense, Ty Pigrom at quarterback, obviously. How tough is it against a dual-threat guy like that?
Well, it's tough because he's hard to tackle, you know, and he just throws it up in the air. Those guys go get it, you know. And, I mean, you know, there's certain things they do. There's no way to cover it, really. Absolutely. I mean, it's just a matter of if they make the play or not. And, you know, they've got those 2 receivers, and, you know, they're probably the most talented offense in the state. I mean, they probably are.
Right. Coach, how do you feel now moving into postseason play? What's just the mindset of this team? You kind of got to regroup now after a couple of losses.
Well, I was proud of our guys again when we started the week. You know, I think we could have gone one way or the other when we came back Monday. But we had some guys step up. We had some seniors step up, and they don't want this thing to end. And you know, playoffs just one game at a time. So we'll have to come back. obviously learn from this, but move on and get ready for next week.
Hewitt and Clay met again in the Paws versus Claws Classic, and the Clay Chalkville Cougars just outlasted the Huskies, Alan.
Well, they did. It was a slugfest for really 3 quarters, back and forth, really both offenses dominating. And, we've talked about all year this Clay Chalkville offense, and, of course, they were as good as ever, but really impressed with the way the Hewitt-Trussville Huskies came out and played offense really the first 3 quarters.
Absolutely. And talk a little bit about the Huskies and Davis Bergen, who came in and did an admirable job against this tough Clay defense. He filled in for Zach Thomas, who'd had the leg injury. He came in and did a really nice job.
He really did, and he got kind of thrust into the game against Hoover, a little shaky at start, then he settled down. But Davis Bergen had a solid performance against Clay Chalkville. He was 10 of 20, 128 yards, pair of touchdowns. They put him in situations to help him be successful in that game. And
you and I talked about in the preview show, we expected the Huskies to be creative offensively, maybe see some guys do some things we hadn't seen before. We did see that this past Friday night.
Well, we did. I kind of kidded with Coach Floyd during the week. I said, "You got any surprises for us?" And really, and again, not a coach myself, but I thought earlier in the week about Grayson Cash, a talented, has played quarterback before, and I didn't ask Coach this, but they did put him in at the Wildcat, and Grayson Cash had a great game playing Wildcat, and a wrinkle that Clay Chalkville hadn't seen, and really caught Clay back on their heels a couple of times with that.
And we also saw Noah Igbenogany in the backfield too. They motioned him in a lot like the Florida Gators used to do with Percy Harvin back a few years ago. And he had a nice job, a nice game running the football as well as catching the football.
Well, he did. He's got the speed, and to bring him into the backfield, run the speed sweep with him some, and do some different things with him. I thought Coach Floyd and his staff had a great game plan. But really at the end, just not enough firepower to handle the Cougars.
And as you said, the Clay offense was, again, unstoppable in this ball game. They stopped themselves a couple of times with turnovers, but Ty Pigram was just amazing. 7 touchdown passes he accounted for in this game.
Well, I mean, he really, we continue to talk about him, and he just, 14 to 24 passing, 292 yards. He had 5 touchdown passes. He ran for 2. This guy's the real deal. And we talked a few weeks ago, when are people really going to start noticing him on a major level? And I'm telling you, this kid can play football. And then when you throw in there that he's got 2-3 blue chippers to catch the ball, it's an offense that's really, really difficult to stop.
Speaking of one of those blue chippers, T.J. Simmons, 6 passes, 6 receptions for 130 yards. He had 4 touchdown passes, made 1 outstanding catch in the end zone as he was getting hit.
Well, I mean, he could be the best receiver in the state right now. He really is playing well. It's assumed that Ty Pigram will be the 6A player of the year, but T.J. Simmons could very well fill that role also.
You could pick almost 3 or 4 guys off of that offense and call him the player of the year. The Clay Chalkville defense struggled against the Husky offense. They kind of solved the riddle midway through the 3rd quarter, held the Huskies scoreless in the 4th quarter, and that was the difference.
Well, that was the difference. And, this defense we've talked about all year, and they've been sporadic. They've played good most of the season, but they've been a little sporadic at times. The Huskies had them back on their heels, but they really came together in that 4th quarter, kind of figured it out. And that Clay Chalkville scoring 3 straight times after the Huskies took a 35-34 lead. 3 straight times you'll hear about the Clay Chalkville scoring, but they also stopped the Huskies 3 straight times, and that was the game changer.
Absolutely. We'll talk about the playoffs for both of these teams coming up a little later in the show. When we come back, we're going to have the weather for you for the Thursday night game for the Huskies and the Friday night games for Pinson and Clay Chalkville. We'll be back in just a moment.